Produced in high definition by Fox 50. Viewer discretion is advised. Tonight, a dirty ex-lawyer and a killer teen still on the run. NC Wanted in high definition starts now.
Good evening, I'm Gerald Owens. Welcome to NC Wanted. Tonight we're expanding our list of fugitives from a target 10 to a target 20. That's because, unfortunately, there's an abundance of fugitives in our area. But before we go any further, we need to update you on cases we're working on right now. Tonight, U.S. Marshals are looking for a man who shot a 51-year-old woman making an ATM deposit in Cary. It happened June 17th during the lunch hour at the Bank of America off Maynard Road. Authorities believe this is the trigger man, 34-year-old Philip Thomas Scoob Williams. They say Williams pulled a gun, shot the woman in the stomach, then ran across the street to Cary Town Center. Authorities say Williams then took off with two accomplices in a red or maroon sedan, possibly a Buick with New York license plates. Just recently in Philadelphia, U.S. Marshals captured the two accomplices, 31-year-old Adam Lyles and 24-year-old Travis Monique Price. Both were extradited back to North Carolina and are being held under $250,000 bond. But tonight the manhunt continues for Philip Thomas Williams. He's described as 6'4", about 275 pounds. His last known address was an apartment off Rehoboth Church Road in Greensboro. If you have any information about Philip Thomas Williams, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED. or log on to ncwanted.com and click Report a Tip. A reward is being offered for his arrest, and as always, your identity can remain confidential. Now, the newest addition to our Target 20. His name is Willard Eugene Smith. This photo was taken when Smith was a teenager. Near the time, authorities say he murdered someone. It happened in the mid-90s when Smith was only 16, and this is the only photo authorities had. Now at age 28, Smith is a grown man. The second shot is an age progression photo of what he may look like today. His hairstyle and weight could be different, but take a good look at him. Because to this day, investigators with the Lee County Sheriff's Office believe Willard Eugene Smith has gotten away with murder. June 16, 1995. It's summertime near the Chatham County line, and 16-year-old Willard Eugene Smith and some friends are cruising the hot afternoon looking for trouble.
You got some money on you?
I ain't got no money, man.
The driver decides it's time to collect on a $20 debt. He proceeds to the East Forest Oaks neighborhood in the Haywood section of Moncure. As they make their approach, Willard Smith and his buddy spot the guy who owes the driver his money.
My man, see. Yo, partner, don't you owe me some money?
In a minute, so I can go in the house and get it.
Hey, get it, I mean. Hey, partner.
As he walks away to get the money, Willard Smith begins arguing with one of the other men standing near the Burgundy Buick. While this is happening, 22-year-old Rodney Cotton gets in the back seat and stays out of the fight.
Nah, Rick, nah, man. Nah, man, she can go.
Soon, Willard goes ballistic and grabs a gun from one of his friends. And the two unleash a hail of gunfire. Willard hits the car several times and shoots out the rear windshield. Tragically, the young man sitting in the back seat is hit in the head by one of Willard's bullets. The victim, Rodney Keith Cotton, is pronounced dead at the scene. His accused killer, Willard Eugene Smith, avoids arrest and has eluded authorities for more than a decade. Willard Smith was last seen June 16, 1995. Back then, he used the nickname Pootie. He was living on Breezewood Road in the East Forest Oaks neighborhood near the Lee-Chatham County line. Smith has family ties to that area where his mother and brother are still living. But tonight, investigators don't believe Smith is in the area. Take a good look at this age progression photo. He was 16 at the time of the murder, but now he's 28. It's possible his hair and weight have fluctuated, but the facial features should be close. If you have any information on Willard Eugene Smith, call our hotline toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED. Or log on to ncwanted.com and click on Report a Tip. Your identity will be kept confidential.
Coming up, he's the dirty ex-lawyer from Chapel Hill who conned nearly everyone he knew, and the rageaholic who took out his ex-girlfriend 2 days before Christmas. Target 20 fugitives John Gregory McCormick and Omar Ocampo Figueroa are next.
Welcome back to NC Wanted. Tonight we're spotlighting fugitives on our expanded Target 20 list. We typically think of violence as physical acts that cause bodily harm. But violence can be inflicted in ways that are emotional, psychological, even financial. Let's say someone you thought you could trust betrays you in a calculated way, then runs away so you can never find him. Tonight we bring you ex-Chapel Hill lawyer John Gregory McCormick. He's missing and accused of stealing over $1 million from family, friends, business partners, even the poor.
We should get together, go out and have a drink or something.
Life and business are good for John McCormick.
Going down to the Caymans here in a couple of weeks.
For more than 20 years, he's been the attorney for the Chapel Hill Carrboro School Board. He's made a bundle on real estate deals and is the landlord for more than a dozen low-end rental properties in Orange County. But in recent weeks, McCormick's life has been spiraling out of control. He's getting financial pressure from bank officials.
Your accounts are seriously underfunded.
I want to be clear, the relationship is terminated.
And he's recently lost his major clients, including national home builder D.R. Horton.
This is not the way we operate.
The downturn in his law practice has led him to serve notice of layoffs to his employees. And he's no longer able to drive his fancy cars as a result of multiple DWIs, and is awaiting trial for a charge he just received 6 days ago, driving while license revoked. But instead of facing his problems in a responsible way, John McCormick spends his time plotting an escape. He's managed to siphon over $1 million from clients and borrow over $300,000 from friends.
Hey, how's it going?
He's also been misleading SunTrust bank officials to transfer the embezzled funds into his hidden accounts.
I'll be there in 20 minutes.
By this time, his contact at D.R. Horton has had it with McCormick's evasion. Just before noon on July 10, 2006, the D.R. Horton representative takes the unusual step of going to McCormick's Chapel Hill office to deliver a final ultimatum face-to-face. When McCormick is alerted, he thinks up an excuse and orders an assistant to cover for him. Then he slips out the back and drives away for the last time. Many hours later, an Orange County deputy would find McCormick's car abandoned near an entrance to Duke Forest. A report comes in later indicating McCormick had hitchhiked his way back to the Chapel Hill area near the Timberline Shopping Center. This is his last confirmed sighting. In a matter of days, his abandoned wife is forced to file for involuntary bankruptcy and manage the affairs of their 3 children, alone amid public embarrassment and revelations of McCormick's dark secrets. The North Carolina State Bar disbarred John McCormick in March, but it was too late for Jackson and Dorothy Allison. About 10 years ago, the North Carolina Real Estate Commission informed the bar about a case involving the couple who were swindled by McCormick in a shady real estate deal. But nothing was done, and McCormick was never investigated. If you've been following this case, you may be surprised to know that McCormick's demise and escape were not surprising to some who knew him. According to the current mayor of Carrboro, quote, "I'm sorry to say that the problems with John McCormick were indeed well known long before his disappearance. It is not a matter of 20/20 hindsight. His actions speak for themselves. And it's an undisputed fact that McCormick's tenants were dealing crack cocaine out of his apartments at the end of Sykes Street. There is also no doubt that he was well aware of the situation. McCormick's rapid departure from Chapel Hill was, to me, anything but shocking," unquote. Soon after McCormick disappeared in July of 2006, the SBI opened a criminal investigation. Shortly after that, at least 2 civil lawsuits were filed against McCormick because of the missing money, including the additional $1.3 million that was discovered missing from the trust accounts at SunTrust Bank, accounts that McCormick was responsible for. This guy hurt a lot of people with his selfishness. Now it's time for this lawyer to face legal judgment. If you have any information about John Gregory McCormick of Chapel Hill, call us toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED. Or log on to our website at ncwanted.com and click on Report a Tip. You don't have to reveal your identity. This next fugitive has such a temper, authorities say he's capable of taking down anyone who stands in his way. His name is Omar Ocampo Figueroa, a Mexican national wanted on charges of brutal domestic violence. Authorities say he committed his worst assault on his ex-girlfriend just 2 days before Christmas. At about 8:30 p.m., December 23, 1999, Sylvia Cuevas drives back from her dinner break to return to her shift at the McDonald's off US 1 in Aberdeen. She's greeted in the parking lot by her fellow co-worker, Angel Martinez. What Sylvia doesn't know is her old boyfriend, Omar Ocampo Figueroa, has been stalking her and watching her in the parking lot. Figueroa grabs some of her old belongings and bullies his way to confront Sylvia. When he forces the box toward her, she throws it back in his face. That's when the two erupt into a yelling and shoving match. Martinez steps in to break up the fight.
Take it easy,
No.
All right, I'm talking to her. I
No.
understand. That's it. Take it easy.
Please, just leave.
Enraged, Figueroa goes back to his car, grabs a knife, and moves in for the kill.
Run, Sylvia!
Figueroa grabs her by the hair and stabs her through the chest.
¡Ay, pinche cabrón! ¡Pinche cabrón!
Figueroa takes his knife with him, jumps in his car, and speeds away. A Taylortown policeman reported seeing Figueroa shortly after the incident. He was spotted in a 1990 black two-door Dodge Daytona with license plate number MPR 5733 and driving west on Archie Road. He appeared to be heading out of Montgomery County. Authorities consider him armed and dangerous. Omar Ocampo Figueroa is 5'7", 210 pounds. He has a tattoo of a fish on his right shoulder, a bear, and a heart on his left arm. Authorities say he still has family living in Davis Drive Park in the west end of Moore County. If you have any information about Omar Ocampo Figueroa, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. You don't have to reveal your identity. Let's turn our attention now to someone who could be considered tonight's public enemy number one. His name is Gary Parham Jr., an accused serial rapist and murderer with ties to the Fayetteville area. He should be considered extremely dangerous to anyone he encounters, especially women. At 6'1" and over 200 pounds, investigators say Gary Parham Jr. is a menacing presence. His MO is to prey on women when they least expect it. It's August 5th, 1998. In an area near Washington, D.C., a 29-year-old woman returns to her apartment happy about her recent engagement. She's the single parent of 2 children, so things are looking up. But this poor woman has no idea this is the last hour of her life. That's because Parham has just chosen her as his target of opportunity.
Okay.
After talking his way inside, Parham turns violent and forces her into her bedroom to begin his sexual assault. But this woman has no intentions of ever letting Parham have his way. She fights him with a ferocity that stuns him. The battle moves through the apartment. The woman fights valiantly, but Parham stabs her more than 30 times. She finally succumbs to her mortal wounds, and Parham is able to escape without being noticed. Now, fast forward to 2005. 7 years later, Gary Parham Jr. is in prison for an unrelated crime. A sample of his DNA is taken. To the surprise of police, a match comes back, placing Parham at the scene of the woman's murder. It would be her last revenge. By injuring Parham, the brave woman ensured the best witness had remained alive and well, and that would be Parham's own DNA. But just days before the DNA match is confirmed, Parham is released on parole. He gets wind of his good fortune and taunts police by phone, telling them they will never find him. Now he knows he's a marked man. Investigators believe he flees the D.C. area to return to his native North Carolina. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Parham is wanted for sexual assaults and drug crimes as far north as Prince George's and Montgomery counties in Maryland outside Washington, D.C. Tonight, investigators believe he may be hiding out with his mother, who frequently changes her address and is hard to track. Parham has been linked to the Fayetteville area, New Bern, and Winterville. He has green eyes, which should be easy to spot. He tends to wear his hair in cornrows, but may be sporting an afro. He uses aliases, including Junie, Green Eyes, Gary Brown, Rashawn Parham, or his brother's name, Stephen Parham. If you think you know the whereabouts of Gary Parham Jr., call our hotline right now at 1-866-43-WANTED. You can also log on to our website at ncwanted.com. And as always, you can remain anonymous.
Coming up, he turned a night of games into a night of torture. And the dangerous party boy who smokes cheap strawberry cigars. Target 20 fugitives Yang Bonilla and Nathan Pettigrew are next. Welcome back to NC Wanted. This week we're profiling fugitives on our Target 20 list.
Torture is something we hear about in other countries, but 10 years ago, it happened in the town of Dunn. One of the suspects was captured, but a second violent fugitive is still on the loose. His name is Young Oriana Bonilla, a Honduran national who at the time worked construction as a roofer. Investigators tell us Bonilla and his accomplice spent a night torturing two men in such a barbaric way, one of the victims died. Tonight, your tips may help investigators bring Young Oriana Bonilla to justice. February 5th, 1997. Tomas Cabrera and his friend Godencio Aguirre hook up for a night of drinking with Young Bonilla and Sal Ramon Gonzalez. The evening starts well enough, but a few beers lead to a few cross words, and it isn't long before the situation gets ugly, and the men erupt into a drunken brawl. Bonilla and Gonzalez overpower their two house guests and pin them down. They gag the men to muffle their screams. Then Bonilla and his accomplice grab ropes and fasten nooses around their necks. They use the other end of the rope to secure the men's feet, then strap the remaining rope around their arms and wrists. This binds the men in such a contorted way that every time they relax their bodies, the tension chokes their air supply, putting incredible stress on their necks and spines. But for Bonilla and his accomplice, this night of torture is just beginning. They use knives and scissors to shred their victims' pants, preparing them for something even more horrific. By this time, the disturbance has prompted neighbors to call police. Two Dunn police officers arrive in response to the noise complaint. Bonilla and Gonzalez drag their captives into a back room, then answer the door, putting up a front that everything is okay. With the coast clear, Bonilla and Gonzalez decide to take things to a more disturbing level. They use 40-ounce beer bottles to sodomize their victims for much of the night. The next morning, Bonilla and Gonzalez leave the apartment. Godencio Aguirre takes the opportunity to break free. But for his friend Tomas Cabrera, it's too late. He dies of strangulation, with major injuries to his spine. Investigators say Bonilla and his accomplice soon fled the area. He's listed most often as Young Oriana Bonilla, but he's also known to use aliases such as Johnny Bonilla or Yanni Oriana. Whatever alias he's using, you can identify him by his missing front tooth and the tattoo of the name Donna on his right arm. Tonight, authorities believe he could be in the areas of Goldsboro, Clinton, or Benson. If you have any information about Young Oriana Bonilla, call us now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com and click Report a Tip. You don't have to share your identity. Local police need your tips to help capture a dangerous party boy with strong ties to the Lewisburg area. He may look like the guy next door, but police say you shouldn't go anywhere near him. His name is Nathan Randall Pettigrew, and he's wanted on a string of charges, including statutory rape, first-degree kidnapping, and assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. It's another dog day of summer in Raleigh, but by nightfall, things are about to get even hotter. Police say on the evening of August 2nd, 2005, Nathan Pettigrew convinces a former girlfriend to pick him up near the intersection of Capitol Boulevard and Old Wake Forest Road. What the woman doesn't know is that Pettigrew has just been indicted on charges of statutory rape and taking indecent liberties with a minor. And things go wrong in a hurry for this woman as Pettigrew pulls a knife and orders her to drive. Now! At this point, police say it's not clear if Pettigrew has a destination in mind or if he's biding time to do something else.
And you listen to me and don't try anything.
What is clear is this is the ride from hell for this 19-year-old hostage. During the ordeal, Pettigrew rages and breaks off her rearview mirror and throws her cell phone out the window. He steals valuables from her purse. It isn't long before Pettigrew and his hostage reach the intersection of Peace and St. Mary's Streets. This is where police tell us the woman makes a desperate attempt to escape. But Pettigrew chases her down, forces her back into the vehicle at knife point, and orders her to keep driving.
Listen, just keep going.
In just a few blocks, the woman sees what could be her last chance to be visible in a public place. She steers the vehicle into the parking lot of a Peace Street convenience store. Pettigrew tries to restrain her, grabbing her blouse and slashing her with his knife. Somehow, she manages to pull free and flees inside the store where witnesses are now calling 911. Police tell us this is when Pettigrew gives up and runs away. And this is the last time anyone reports seeing him in the immediate area. Pettigrew has a long history of offenses that ties him to 3 counties: Franklin, Wake, and Vance. But his strongest ties are to Franklin County near Youngsville and Lewisburg. Police tell us Pettigrew's party boy appearance allows him to blend in. They say he loves to hit the nightclubs and smoke small, cheap cigars called strawberry blunts. If you think you know the whereabouts of Nathan Randall Pettigrew, call us right now toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. You can remain anonymous. Now, in just a moment, we'll be right back to recap tonight's cases and tell you what we're working on for next week. Stay with us. Welcome back to NC Wanted. Time now to recap tonight's cases. First, he's 28 years old now, but he was just 16 when investigators say he shot and killed a boy who got in his way. Authorities say Willard Eugene Smith may no longer be in North Carolina, but he still has close family ties to Lee and Chatham counties. This age progression photo shows you what he may look like today. Next, he's the lawyer from Chapel Hill, John Gregory McCormick. He's wanted on multiple charges involving a heist of over $1 million from business associates, family, friends, even the poor. Then it's the Mexican national accused of murdering his ex-girlfriend just 2 days before Christmas in 1999. It happened in a McDonald's parking lot in Aberdeen. Omar Ocampo Figueroa was last seen fleeing Montgomery County after the incident. He's 5'7", weighing 210 pounds. He has a tattoo of a fish on his right shoulder, a bear, and a heart on his left arm. Authorities say he still has family living in Davis Drive Park in the west end of Moore County. Next, he may take the prize as the most brutal and vicious fugitive on our list. He's Gary Parham Jr. He uses aliases including Junie, Green Eyes, Gary Brown, Rashawn Parham, or his brother's name, Stephen Parham. Then it's the accused ringleader of a fateful night of torture in Dunn. He's listed most often as young Oriana Bonilla, but he's also known to use aliases such as Johnny Bonilla or Yanni Oriana. Whatever alias he's using, he's wanted for murder. And finally, Nathan Randall Pettigrew, who has a long history of offenses that ties him to 3 counties: Franklin, Wake, and Vance. Police tell us Pettigrew's party boy appearance allows him to blend in. They say he loves to hit the nightclubs and smoke small, cheap cigars called strawberry blunts. If you have information on any of tonight's cases, call us right now, toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. As always, you can remain anonymous. Next week, we look into violent crimes against the elderly. Our feature case will be the unsolved murder of Miss Rosa Crabtree of Durham County. She came home from church one day and was ambushed, then savagely stabbed to death with her own scissors. It's a story that'll break your heart, but we hope it will inspire someone to take action and provide information that will solve this case. Remember, together we can fight to protect the quality of life we hold dear in North Carolina. I'm Gerald Owens. Thanks for watching.